Hi, my name is Nan, and today I want to talk about being a lazy player in Dota. So, when I talk about being lazy, I mean it in the sense that games like Dota require you to learn a lot of random things, and if you don't spend the time to actually research and put those things into practice, what you come across, all the random information, if you're gonna be that lazy just to figure out stuff for a game that you're playing, then you're gonna have a hard time. And take it from someone who started off, not I was by all means I was not very natural at Dota. I was not very good at the very beginning, and what I had to do was I had to dig up old guides way back, and people back then in the old original Dota back on Warcraft and stuff like that, they didn't know how to play the game particularly well. MOBA concepts like split pushing, optimal item builds, optimal farming patterns and stuff like that, they didn't exist yet. So all that information was still it was in the process of being developed. But I remember I picked a random hero I wanted to use as a baseline to understand the game, and that random hero was Centaur. And Centaur, he was at least at the time initially, and back in the early days of Dota, he was pretty straightforward. He had an AOE stun, and he had a point click nuke thingy, at melee range, and he had a return that did damage back. And back then his ultimate, was he just got strength per level, and that was it was just a passive, and that was it. But I remember looking at guides for Centaur, and then I just because I didn't know better, I just used that as a base, and because I wasn't lazy to learn, and that's something that to this day, as I play more Dota or League or any kind of MOBA or any game that just has that you have to look up stuff. I mean, you have to sit down, Google it, find random information, look in a guide, watch a video, listen to someone talk about it, find a stream. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of extra effort versus just logging in and just playing the game and trying to figure it out on your own, if you want to take the time to figure it out on your own. And I just, looking back on it, I probably would have quit MOBA way back, like years ago, if I didn't look at that random Centaur guide. And keep in mind, that Centaur guide wasn't particularly good. It wasn't particularly well written or anything like that. It just gave me a base, and it just gave me an initial understanding and concepts that I could use and apply for. It would develop into other characters that I would try out, along the way. And if I were really if I didn't do that stuff though, I definitely wouldn't be playing MOBA to this day. I definitely wouldn't have caught the MOBA wave, as it was starting to get really popular just in League and all that stuff, because I had a lot of rough moments when I first started playing Dota, because it was unforgiving. Lots of things happened and I didn't know why, and everything was just a constant nightmare of just trying to take my lumps and then figure out what happened. And then if I couldn't figure out what happened, I would just have to keep doing that stuff over and over again until until I just got a little bit, and gradually, well, it was like really, really gradual. Like I gradually got a little bit better here and there, to the point I would at least play somewhat competently. And confident back then was you just didn't feed 5 to 8 times in the laning phase alone, and you actually could figure out, hey, characters like Centaur is, a blink dagger is good on him because I can blink next to them and stun them. That's pretty neat. And you have to learn that though. You can't be lazy to learn. If you're lazy to learn, you're not gonna get anywhere in this type of game. So you have to sit down and just do the homework. Just like read a random guide. You don't have to know every random information, every single caveat to a character or anything like that. You just need to know like at least some things. Understand like what this does, what this interaction does, and just pick up some things. You don't have to absorb it all. Just pick up some things, and the more well-rounded your understanding of the game is, the better off you will be. Anyway, thanks for listening.